guys, Jay here. Welcome to Eons of Battle. Moments ago, I saw the reveals from Games Workshop for 4 of their big flagship games. I mean, really, 40k is their big flagship game, and then all the other ones are like secondary periphery games that like most people don't really care about. But I think I'm leading you guys on. I got riled up by the reveals. I am annoyed. So let's get into it, folks. The first thing that really irked me is I guess, sure, this reveal happens days after the previous reveal. They're still doing this format of making like 2 to 5 YouTube videos and then making us all sit through the YouTube videos. And judging by the comments of like on Twitch, when we watch the comments are horrendous. They banned so many people for being mean, but people aren't mean when cool stuff happens. I remember the beauty, the genius, the perfect moments. Some of my favorite moments of life are the old Games Workshop reveals where it's just 2 nerds live streaming on Twitch. They get to the point within 15 minutes. The first thing to do is they hop on and they're like, hey guys, where's everybody watching from? And then 150,000 comments of your mom's house, your mom's house, your mom's house, your mom's house, your mom's house. And then they get to the reveals, everyone's happy, everyone goes about their day. It's fantastic. This new system is so produced and so obtuse. It's just so frustrating. I really don't like it. I hope that Games Workshop, I'm sure they're paying some sort of a company to come up with like these ideas for them. I hope that they're somehow getting analytics of like, no one likes this, because it seems like every time they do a reveal and it's a 15 to 20 minute long reveal of one tiny little thing and nobody is happy with it. And so literally the only thing that people have left to do is just to flame in the comments, to be a little bit mean to the hosts and to just be really disappointed. And then those people get banned, which, you shouldn't let people pop off in the comments. Maybe just try to make it a decent environment for people to watch in, but it sucks. Go back to the old format. But formats aside, I also wasn't terribly jazzed with the releases. So in the Games Workshop release schedule, Genestealer Cult are next on the chopping block to get a codex. So of course, the first thing they revealed is Sisters of Battle and their Sisters of Battle codex coming out soon. And they get a new Canoness with jump pack. And it's fine. Like that makes a lot of sense. Canoness should always have been able to take a jump pack. It's a very nice thing to have for the army, but the model is just, it's nothing. It's a Zephyrum. It's a normal Zephyrum with Zephyrum weapons. I don't think Zephyrum kit comes with chain swords, but nobody is ever gonna take the chain sword in the era of free war gear anyway, so there's no points. The model is okay, but why is it just okay? Like, Games Workshop is so good at making models, and literally 2 days ago, we saw the reveal for the Grey Seer for the Skaven for Age of Sigmar, and it is a breathtaking model. Beautifully sculpted base, a bell split open with rats pouring out of it. His cloak is flowing into long, delicate tassels that kind of look like smoke as you read across the miniature, and his little rat tail kind of curls into the shape of the smoke as well. The silhouette is breathtaking and gorgeous. And this looks like they took the Zephyrum scheme, or like the Zephyrum STL that's on someone's computer, and they took a little piece of terrain that was also on someone's laptop, and they just kind of put them together and then just Boolean joined the 2 things together. And it's fine. It looks okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing right with it. There's nothing to really grab onto and be like, that is my Canoness. That is the most unique, most heroic character in my army. And so I don't begrudge anybody. I think all Sisters of Battle players, you should find 5 friends and just all buy a Zephyrum box together and then split it and get this character for $8 each. I think that's what you should do, because this model isn't anything. It's not like, it doesn't have a beautiful silhouette. It's a character jumping off of a generic piece of rubble on top of a 32mm base. It doesn't, I guess it has extra pointies on the wings. Is extra pointies enough to make this a really cool $35 to $40 individual blister character for 40k? I don't think it is, and I don't get it. Like, they've made the Dogmata, they made like Junith, they made Celestine, and they came up with all of these interesting things to do with those characters to make them unique. And then this is just a regular battle sister with jump pack. It's kind of disappointing. So I don't know. I don't often like say like we should boycott or we should do anything, but if this model is going to be no different than a normal Zephyrum, I don't think you should pay anything other than normal Zephyrum prices. But speaking of normal prices, we also got a look at the new Sisters of Battle Battle Force, which is kind of sorely needed. I have a soft spot for the old Sisters of Battle Battle Force because it did give you like, it was a beautiful Christmas morning Battle Force where you got just a little tasting of every single thing in the army, and I really liked it. But it was an awkward number of units where you got like absolute min-sized squads, and you would have to buy more boxes to actually play a game of 40k, so they definitely did need a new box. The new box is very specific. It's 3 squads of Zephyrum, or whatever the other version of Zephyrum you can build out of that box is, the new Canoness with jump pack, and you get the Exorcist tank. It's fine. It's fine. I did say that I liked the Orc Beast Snagga box, and that I think that box is really good if you want to add Beast Snaggas to your army. Now, the rules for Beast Snaggas are excellent, so that definitely kind of makes me want them a little bit more. They're not my favorite looking Orc units, but this is kind of in the same boat of if you never bought any of the Jump Pack Sisters before, this is probably the best way to get them because you're gonna get a little bit of a discount and you're gonna get the new character that I don't think that you should actually buy at full price. And nobody can say no to an Exorcist. It's a nice little bit of indirect firing for the Sisters of Battle army. It's okay, but I don't know. This goes along though, this is built around one specific detachment from the new Sisters of Battle Codex, and the Sisters of Battle only get 4 detachments. And this is really what made me mad. Why? Why are some 40k armies only getting 4 detachments? Every single thing got 6, Chaos Space Marines got 8, Tau, Custodes, and Sisters, and technically Genestealer Occult, are only getting 4. And that just makes the game less fun. Detachments are the new system and a really smart system of how to give us more ways to play 40k. As a Space Marine player, I've played most of the different detachments for Space Marines, and the game felt different every single time. It was like new and fresh, and it's really good. So why can they not write at least 6 detachments for every single codex? It doesn't make any sense. There's no impossibilities, there's no roadblocks, there's nothing preventing them. They just don't do the work of writing 1 or 2 more detachments. They made one up for the Dark Eldar because the Dark Eldar were doing so poorly in the game. Why not just make up a bunch more? They don't even have to be good. Just let me try them out. Let me play my army a different way. But no, for some reason, and I don't get, Tau and Sisters of Battle are fully fledged, full range 40k armies. Why don't they get the same number of detachments as Tyrannid? It doesn't make any sense. The Tyrannid detachments aren't even good, but just give me more ways to play these armies. Give me more opportunities for, if I'm looking across the board and I see somebody's army, but they're playing a different detachment, it's gonna change the way the game is played. It's gonna change the way it feels. I'm gonna have more fun playing 40k. So it's really annoying that Games Workshop is being really lazy and not giving us more detachments. But speaking of my blood pressure rising, we got some Genestealer Cult. I love the Genestealer Cult. I am currently behind the scenes working on revamping my Genestealer Cult army so I can play it properly on the tabletop. I have tons of aberrants built, and we have finally gotten something new for the Genestealer Cult. I thought we would probably get some units because Genestealer Cult is one of the smaller armies. We actually have far more independent characters than we have units. So I was really hoping that Games Workshop wasn't just gonna throw one character at us and call it a day. They threw one character at us and called it a day. To be honest, to be fair, it's a very cool character. I like the Benefactus. The Benefactus is a really cool model. It's a lady with a big old brain and some Genestealer carapace on top of it with a fun little stick. And apparently she is an anti-tank psychic blast type weapon, which is useful. Like, we do need some more anti-armor help in the Genestealer Cult. Pretty much all we have is Aberrants and Achilles Ridge Runners for anti-tank, so it is nice to get a little bit more, but there's so many characters. Literally all we have is the piddliest of guard infantry and special characters. It would have been nice. I don't have any good ideas, but I'm not Games Workshop, who's thinking about this 24/7, 7 days a week. They probably should have been able to come up with some kind of a unit to give Genestealer cults. But instead, they decided to give us one independent character, which is very cool. And I will buy this model because I think it looks awesome. And I do like the idea of having a little anti-tank, hopefully lone operative type unit to run around on my backfield and probably pop out turn 2 or 3 to nuke some tanks that I wasn't able to destroy with my demolition charges, but And then for some reason, even though Genestealer Cult is one of the smallest armies in terms of miniature ranges in Games Workshop's arsenal, we get 5 detachments. Now, I don't want to complain that we got more than 4, but I am going to complain that we didn't get 6! Games Workshop! What is with these detachments? They started out 6, 6, 6, 6, and now it's just a dart thrown in a map. Like, what is going on with the number of these detachments? I don't get it. I make Chaos Space Marines got 8, give every single chapter 8, or give every single army 8. I think now that 10th edition has been out for a year, I think they should make up a new detachment for every single army, just because some armies, you know, most armies have only gotten 1 detachment to play the game with for a year. Give everybody a little something new, you don't even have to make new models. Literally, you have to give somebody, give an intern 1 day to come up with a new detachment. And then all of a sudden, thousands and thousands of players get to have the most fun ever by getting to play their army in a different way. It doesn't make any sense. One really cool thing about the Genestealer Cult is that we had the best combat patrol from Games Workshop. It was really generous. It came with tons and tons of stuff. And it's really good because Genestealer Cult is a horde army, but our horde is really, really expensive. So it is really nice to be getting tons and tons of stuff in a combat patrol. Now we got to take a look at the new combat patrol, and it is a little bit teeny weeny. It's kind of teeny weeny Frankenbeanie. It's not much. It's what, 2 squads of hybrid metamorphs. We get Atlan Jackals, we get a Achilles Ridge Runner, and that is it. Wow, does it even have a character? Oh, it has the Sanctus. Or no, not the Sanctus, the Sniper on Bike. Wow. This is a little tiny, tiny battle force or combat patrol. It's pretty small. Looking at it, it probably looks like you're saving about as much as you are with any of the other combat patrols, which is about $30 to $40, which is like, you get 1 kit in the box for free. But previously, Genestealers were enjoying probably getting 2 kits for free. So if you are a Genestealer Cult player, I would suggest seeking out the old combat patrol and buying it right now, because you're probably not gonna get a better deal. The Battle Force, I don't know, the Battle Force is whatever. The Battle Force kind of feels like the old combat patrol. So if you really need the new model now, there's something to the Battle Force, but honestly, Genestealer Cult players probably have all these models, so I would just say wait. I know Games Workshop is accused all the time of FOMO, fear of missing out advertising, and I think that is true. I think that is how they advertise their stuff, but I think it's kind of like a false narrative, because unlike most other companies, Games Workshop keeps their stuff in stock for years and years and years. So sure, you cannot get the big brain lady right this second, but you'll be able to get her in 6 months, and next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. So sure, you can be afraid of missing out, but you have ample opportunity to not miss out if you just have a little bit of patience. So sure, I don't know, don't get the Battle Force. I'm in a bad mood. Games Workshop put me in a bad mood with the 40k releases. 40k is their game. 40k is the thing, 40k is the company, but 40k just got 2 little characters and a bunch of bundle boxes that no one wants, and that's it. And then what's even sadder is all the other reveals were so much cooler. Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, the Mechanicum turns its love of metal into plastic. Very cute, because these things were resin and now they're plastic. You get a whole army, a beautiful tank, a bunch of weird, like zombie robot infantry, a bunch of battle automata, a mega robot, they showed this off and it was so badass. I don't really care about 30k, but I would be really tempted by a lot of these models. Like if just somehow these fell into my lap, I would paint them and I would really enjoy painting them. And like, I could totally see people, if they don't like the Cataphren robots, using these guys as proxies to use them in their Adeptus Mechanicus army. I know Games Workshop has been putting all of the 30k stuff into Legends of the Heresy for 40k, but I feel like they could sneak these into actual Adeptus Mechanicus, because the Adeptus Mechanicus, they're good at fixing things. So it would make more sense than anyone else for them to be able to take 30k units. And this is a huge number of 30k units. I think my favorite thing is the Tech Dominus. He looks so good. He reminds me of the Droideka from Star Wars with their weird little like spider bodies. He looks so good with his Pope hat and the giant cog on his crotch. Like, he looks really fun. He's dripping with weapons and arms and gear, but he doesn't look like a mess. He actually looks like he actually has a pretty darn good silhouette. He's got this giant hunchback that has like some sort of an energy like battery on his back, but it actually goes along with his head, so you still get the silhouette of a person with it. I really like it. I feel like it was really well designed. Unlike the Sisters of Battle Canon as with Jump Pack, like this is really cool. And I bet 30k people, like Adeptus Mechanicus players for 30k, were having so much fun. In the chat, if you're reading the chat, everyone was being a big meanie butt. But then once they showed off this and it was really cool, everyone's like, that's really cool. Like we got an in the moment reaction from Warhammer fans. It's really cool. I like this stuff a lot. But speaking of really, really cool reveals, we got an amazing reveal for Adeptus Tiny Canicus. Legions Imperialis got guys, hang on, hold on to your butts for this. They got a campaign book. Whoa. Don't even show off a book in one of these grand reveals where you make like a little YouTube video for everyone to watch talking about it. It's a book. Just show off the book on a random like Friday or Saturday, and the people who are excited will be really excited, and everybody else can be like, what, a book? Why are they showing off a book? Why did they create, not even animatics? Why did they have a slideshow of still pictures for a book? I'm sure that if you get this book and you play Legions Imperialis, it adds some interesting stuff and some fun scenarios and some interesting groupings that you can bring your things in, but it's a book. I don't know. I think because I've been in the Warhammer hobby over 10 years, so I'm done with books. I'm not going to buy any more books. I bought every book. A wall of my house is devoted to almost every single codex Games Workshop has ever made. That's enough for me. I am fine not buying any more books from Games Workshop. A book is fine. I'm sure it adds plenty of flavor to the game, but boy, oh boy, did it feel like a black hole in the reveal show. The last thing the Games Workshop revealed was the new box for Necromunda. I think it's on its 5th season, or it's a new season of Necromunda, so they're not necessarily changing the rules, they're just updating the consolidation of where these rules exist, which from Necromunda players, which I've heard it's a fantastic game, and I've played it twice, and it is a really fun game. I like it more than Kill Team. It does seem like the rules being so sprawling and out there, I mean, everyone I know uses Yak Tribes, which is just a way to get the rules a little bit simpler. But the new stuff that they showed off, the new box, looks fantastic. It's the high-tech Von Saar versus Gene Stealer Cult. And the models look absolutely beautiful. There's the 2 mech suits, which they even explained the lore. Also, this show-off was really good. They got one of those robot arms, and it was zooming all over beautifully painted terrain, moving like through hallways and things to show off the miniatures as if it was like animation. It was really cool. And it's weird that that's the only preview that was like that. It almost feels like they were planning on not having it be attached to this reveal show, but just to have it stand on its own. I mean, Necromunda has always had a really strong voice to it. I remember I bought the original like 2017 Necromunda launch box because of the teaser trailer that had that actress put on a Cockney accent and kind of give a little spiel of the Escher versus Goliath gangs. And it just gave off a really good vibe, and I bought the box. And so this felt very similar. The models are gorgeous. I love the idea of they can't have pure strain gene stealers in Necromunda because they will just wipe everything on the board. So they had to invent their own gene stealers that are like kind of weak, emaciated, not quite properly formed gene stealers. But they decided, well, if we're gonna have the less awesome version of gene stealers, we're gonna make ours look phenomenal. And they did. They have these weird growths and the wrong number of eyes and the wrong number of limbs. And they've got pustules and their bodies haven't properly formed. It's really, really cool. And then they've got upgrade kits for the regular like chaff gangers that you can turn them into gene stealer cultists. It looks absolutely phenomenal. It was shown off beautifully. All of these miniatures look like an absolute joy to paint. And I have like a slight, not conspiracy theory, but the two Von Saar mech suits have this beautiful text, like color to them where it's like a color shift from blue to green. Games Workshop has very good painters for Heavy Metal Team, but I almost wonder if they bought some color shift paints like from Hue Miniatures or maybe Green Stuff World and used those to paint these models to give them this very specific and odd look. Because Games Workshop doesn't really offer like metallic colors, but these are metallic colors. So I wonder if maybe Games Workshop stepped outside of their own product range to make these models look particularly interesting. I don't know, that's just a theory, a Games Workshop theory, but this new Necromunda box looks so cool. I might buy it. Even though I barely play Necromunda, I have so much Escher stuff. I've got tons of Goliath stuff. I've really enjoyed the few games I've played. A bunch of buddies of mine play it and they have nothing but fun with the game. Like, Necromunda is really, really cool. And I'm super happy for Necromunda, but I'm sad for 40k. 40k is the game. Why isn't it being the game? Games Workshop, come out with more things and more models for 40k. They should come out with a new detachment every single week. Is there no one at Games Workshop who has some free hours to write new detachments for the game? Or just, probably don't do this, but like they could even have fans come up with ideas for new detachments and then maybe take those ideas and then make them correct for the game and then release them. I don't know. It's really frustrating. But you know, it's never frustrating. That's right, our Patreon. Over there, we have a new set of terrain every single month, and this month we have the Pestilent Forest, a table's worth of grotesque yet beautiful terrain pieces that'll let you fight your tabletop battles surrounded by the corrupting influence of decay. Huge eye plants, cauldrons of pestilence, rotting creep, and the Great Maw make for a very chaotic environment. And if you always want to be up to date on the goings-on here at Eons of Battle and be entered into our monthly giveaways, this month we're picking 3 followers to receive this month's terrain. You can follow the link in the description to sign up to our newsletter. I pleasantly surprised by all the not 40k stuff, but really disappointed in the 40k releases with the show-off show and the show-off show in general. I didn't like it, but you know what? We actually do have a live studio audience today. Sean, would you like to come up here and give the people your impressions of the reveals?
So I was thinking about doing a Chaos Kit Bash Sisters battle. I don't think the new Battle Force box is going to get me to do it with 16 Fly Girls and 1 tank. Gene Stealer Cult looks okay. And the new 30k Adeptus Mechanicus units look really cool. And that was it.